What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about the sequel to Cast in Firelight, Bound by Firelight by Dana Swift. I absolutely loved the first book in this duology when it came out last year. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, so I was really excited about the sequel that was coming out. However, I kind of forgot about the release date, and then I saw it at the bookstore, and I just got so apprehensive about finally starting it. And I think it was just because that first one was like lightning in a bottle. Like, everything worked, everything was hitting exactly the way I wanted. I loved the dynamics, I loved the relationships, like the ending was so good. So I think I just got a little bit nervous going into the sequel, could it live up to it? The direction that Dana Swift decided to take these characters, the direction that the story went, was just so good. I think Bound in Firelight is just as good, if not better, than the first one in the series, and that is a really, really tall order for a second book. But at the end of Cast in Firelight, we did have Audra's magic, Audra's Firelight, being used to make this giant volcano erupt. She is feeling very apprehensive about her magic, even though she was able to reabsorb it and stop it. However, a lot of people still died, so she is very much feeling very mixed emotions about where she's going with her life, what she's doing, and she is soon to be on trial for the murder of all of these people. On the other side, we also have Jotun, who is doing pretty well. He's really happy with his relationship. He wants to repropose to Audra. However, once they get into this trial and things do not go the way they expected, these two characters are separated. And I think that was the best thing you could have done, because while I love Audra and Jotun, while I love their banter, I love their dynamic, I love the way they play off of each other, one of my fears with this was that it was going to get too fluffy. So I loved having them separate because they were able to grow on their own. We saw Audra meeting these new characters, coming into her magic in a way that she never thought she could, and growing as a person without having to fall back on that relationship. And then same thing with Jotun, although I do think he's a little bit more dependent on Audra because his story largely focused on getting back to her, on freeing her. However, I still think he comes a long way, especially considering where he's at with his political side of things and where he could be going as he's starting to come into his leadership. Overall, I think this was an absolutely amazing wrap up to the first book. As a duology, this gave me everything I wanted for these characters. The ending was just, it felt so good. As we were nearing the ending, I'm like, okay, so there's these stereotypical things we could do. We could end it this way. And instead, the way that it ended was a pleasant surprise, and I'm actually just so unbelievably happy with it. This story as a whole told an amazing story about these two characters, these two young royals coming into their titles, coming into their power. And of course we have the war, we have this upheaval, we have these insecurities, and the way it's all wrapped up just felt really, really great. I think Dana Swift did an absolutely fantastic job with both of these books. I am so excited to see what she's going to write next. If you haven't read these, highly recommend that you do. These are definitely some of the must reads, the best reads of fantasy at the moment. And I think it's pretty obvious. I am giving this book an A+. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe to Top Books with me every week. That's everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.